Welcome to Leaders Digest, coming to you from NBJ Summit 2025. I'm Fran Schoenwetter with NBJ and New Hope, and joining me today is Suresh Lakshmikanton, and Suresh is the Chief Business Officer with Natural Remedies. Welcome, Suresh.
Thank you, Fran. Pleasure being here.
I know that there's some new things going on over at Natural Remedies, and something very exciting that's happening is the release of a new ingredient, Ashwa 30 USP. Can you talk to us a little bit about that ingredient and about where that's come from?
Sure. Thank you for asking that, Fran. So Ashwa 30 is the brand new ingredient we launched recently in Vita Foods Europe, and this is the first ingredient which with the lowest dose of ashwagandha, and with just a 30 milligram dose. And it is standardized to contain 30% of total phytocompounds, which includes 15% of vithinolides and 15% of the ATP active fractions. So this product contains two different standardizations, but put together it's a 30% standardization. Yeah.
Oh, well, I know we're not here to talk too much technically, but what about those other active compounds? What else can you tell us about that? People do know about withanolides, but maybe not other compounds.
So in our in silico model, what we found is that the vithinolides is very good for stress, which is what we're attributing it to vithinolides. And for the energy and endurance, its ATP active compound is very important. What the ATP active compound contains ferrolates, polyphenols, saponins, and arabinogalactones. All this put together, we termed it as a ATP active fractions.
So I'm pretty impressed and amazed at the 30 milligram active dosage. So that's supported, I would imagine, with clinical information.
True.
Yes.
True. So we have done 3 clinical trials, 2 completed. The third one is in the process. We are hoping to complete it by Supply Side West 2025. So all the 3 trials are focused on stress, energy endurance, and the third one is again on the stress.
Okay. Well, one of the things that you told me about just a little bit in advance of this conversation was BOT. Can you talk to us about what that is and how that plays into effectiveness?
Sure. So the Ashwa 30 product, as we see here, has been extracted using our proprietary technology called the Bioactive Optimization Technology. In short, it's called BOT technology. So what it means is the whole platform has the 2 different phases. One is the discovery phase, other one is the optimization phase. In the discovery phase of the research, we look at the herb, in this case, it's ashwagandha root, and we looked at what all the different fractions of ashwagandha, which all the methods we can extract ashwagandha using water, solvent, or a CO2, or different types of extractions, and isolate multiple compounds. And then we test those compounds for bioactivity. We test it using a mathematical model, biological model, and a chemical model, which is phytochemistry. And we then starting to narrow down to the active compounds. And finally, we do the preclinical studies to understand how those shortlisted compounds gives bioactivity. After successful completion of preclinicals, then we take it to optimization phase where we optimize the dose. Or what dose, it's a 50 milligram, 100 milligram, 200 milligram, or a 30 milligram. So multiple doses are tested and through a clinical trial phase. And then we found the 30 milligram dose has an optimal effective efficacy. And then we narrow down to 30 milligram dose. And we also, in the clinical trial, we also found not only the optimal dose, we also discovered at what dose the product stops working, which is very, very important because it's not just adding more and more dose, but it's also important when to stop it. So that's the entire process. We call it as a bioactive optimization technology. In the short, it's BOT technology.
So when you're using this technology, are you using different solvents or different concentrations to get to the right constituents at the right concentration?
That's correct, Frank. So what we do is, the process of bot technology, we test the product, or we extract using multiple different solvents, water, ethanol, methanol, seawater extraction. So multiple versions of solvents we use it. And among all the versions, which could be 50 plus different versions, and then we test each versions for ideal phytocompound and ideal bioefficacy. And we choose, in the end, we choose only one particular compound or the fraction that yields optimal result. That's what we attribute the intelligent combination of fractions to the process called bioactive optimization technology process.
I mean, ashwagandha has been used for thousands of years for health. I mean, what was the curiosity mindset that natural remedies, that spurred natural remedies to go down this path? It's really quite different.
True. Yes. Thank you for asking that interesting questions. So what we did is this entire research process took us 5 years. So before 5 years, when we spoke to a lot of customers who are friendly customers, the largest companies in the world who are in the dietary supplement space, at that time there were a lot of them spoke to us and said, hey, there's a lot of confusion in the ashwagandha market. There is multiple different doses ranging from 200, 300, 500, 600 milligram dose. Number one confusion. Number two confusion, how to test all these different versions of ashwagandha. Some claim to have a proprietary method, some claim to have a USP method. There's a lot of confusion in it. The third concern they had is its root is good, or aerial parts is good, or a combination of these two are good. Can you help us come to a right ashwagandha extracts in the market? And with a sharp efficacy, sharp label claim, not that one ashwagandha can treat everything or can work on all the indications in the world. So they asked us to help them with the right ashwagandha extract. So that was the starting point of our research. And at the end of the 5 years of the research process, we tried to address every need the customers asked. They want the fixed lower dose. We are giving them a 30 milligram dose. They wanted a clarity on a root or a aerial part or a combination is better. We are giving them 100% root. They had a concern on the testing method, and we are solving that concern with the USP, modified USP testing method, which they can test in any third-party lab in the world. And they wanted to have a sustainable, traceable supply chain, which we are guaranteeing with our sustainable practices. And also we are the first ashwagandha in the world to have a fair for life certified ashwagandha extract. So we are trying to help the industry and the companies with the right product, right standardization, right transparent testing method, and the right optimal dose.
Well, ashwagandha, it's an adaptogen, so it's been used for many different purposes for health, and it sounds like you've taken kind of an adaptive approach.
Indeed.
Yes. So are there any other ingredients in the works that you're taking this biooptimization technological approach, this research approach to that maybe we might be thinking about in the future?
In fact, ashwagandha is the second product we launched using a bioactive optimization technology. Our first product came out was 2 years ago. Our Holixer, which is a holy basil or tulsi extract for stress and sleep. So we use the same technology, same process, same method to discover Holixer, and we launched it, and it's been doing very well in the market. And recently, we have completed a second clinical trial on Holixer for sleep. And the second study focuses on the microarchitecture of the sleep, which most of the company talks about the NREM sleep or a REM sleep. So what we went further deeper into NREM sleep, which is the microarchitecture. There we looked at the cyclic alternating pattern, which is which is very important to have a lower CAP cycle, which means your quality of the sleep is much better. You can continue to sleep throughout the night, and when you wake up the next day morning, you stay fresh and ready to go. So that particular activity was tested with the Holixer, and we got a very good results. The CAP cycle was reduced, the sleep latency was increased. The participants also said they were able to sleep throughout the night, and and they had a fresh morning without a grogginess or a disturbance in the morning.
And I know that Holixer has been has gotten some strength in the market with the women's wellness
True.
sector. Does that support men, and is the research there for men and sleep? I know that it's a particular challenge for women.
So Holixer and ashwagandha both are very good adaptogens. So how do we differentiate between these two products is that Holixer, when you are stressed, Holixer calms you down. It adapts your body and mind to calm you so that you feel naturally relaxed. Ashwa 30, on the other hand, when you're stressed, it prepares your body to fight. Your energy and endurance and the strength overpowers the stress. So you feel you can overcome the stress. So the two adaptogens works in a two different mechanism of actions, but gives the same results. Since Holixer calms you down, so mostly women folks, they like, hey, it gives me a zen feeling, it calms me, it's very nice. But both products are very good for both the anyone who wants to take, yeah.
I do love my Tulsi tea, and I think I'll seek a cup of that this afternoon.
Please come by. We'll give you some good samples. Yeah.
That sounds fantastic. So, just to bring us to a wrap, is there anything else in the future that we should be aware of?
Indeed, there's always a lot of things cooking in our R&D. So we have another interesting brand called BacoMind. So we are starting a new clinical trial on BacoMind focused on e-gamers, focused attention, the young population we are targeting, and not only young population but also the working adults like us who wants to stay focused throughout the day. So we are testing on that, and we are conducting a new clinical trial for gut guard to see how gut guard can support the GLP-1, and the preclinical data looks very, very interesting. So we are rolling out our new clinical trial on the gut guard. In addition to the existing brands, we are also working on a completely brand new ingredient for women's health, focused on pre, and post-menopause women. And as we speak, the clinicals are ongoing. We are targeting to launch it in Vita Foods Europe next year.
Well, this is wonderful. It's fantastic to see the Ayurvedic tradition flourishing and coming to life in the Western market and finding the applications.
Indeed, we see that a lot of Western population are very, very interested in the science-based, evidence-based, at the same time rooted on the traditional wisdom of Ayurveda. So it's a science-based ingredient with the Ayurvedic herb. It's a very good combination to take it to the Americans and the Western audience.
Thank you so much, Suresh, for joining us today. This has really been an education.
It's a pleasure being here, Fran. Thank you for having me.
And thank you all for joining us for this edition of Leaders Digest from NBJ Summit 2025.